If you're a salon owner stuck at 500K and you're looking to get to that first 1 million, here's the best advice I can give you. You're gonna wanna focus on your goals, but you're gonna need to break those goals down small. Sometimes we set a big goal like that, and then we just kind of sit there and think, how am I gonna get there? We wait for it to happen and it never happens. If you can have a really heavy focus on every hour you're open and what that hour needs to generate for you, you'll get there faster than you think. If you can then extend that onto your team and teach them how to know what they need every hour that they're there, every hour they're scheduled, you'll get there faster than you think. It's not that hard to do. It just takes a little bit of extra focus, and it takes kind of developing that new muscle memory or a new skill set for your team. You'll meet some resistance because you're going to be talking about doing new things. Anytime you do new things, it feels a little uncomfortable. But if you do them on repetition, it becomes very easy, and it gives not only you a strategy to get there, it gives your whole team a strategy to approach every single day the salon's open. In order to be able to achieve it, you have to start breaking down the numbers that you're going to need every month. Once you determine kind of what you need for the month, you have to look at each month because every month is different. When we first started this, we didn't realize that in the month of October, we might have more hours for sale than we have in the month of November or December. We always think of November and December as being the greatest months out of the year because of the holidays, which they oftentimes can put up a pretty nice number, but they typically are not our highest revenue months because we have less hours for sale due to the fact that we're off work for the holidays. So if you can really break down each individual month to the amount of hours that you have for sale, then look at that number and say, hey, this is the amount of hours I have for sale for the year, and determine what do you need to make per hour in order to generate that kind of volume for the year. Once you have that equation, you can put that equation into place for your entire salon team. As a team, what are they going to need to generate each month to hit that number? Then you can take it and break it down even further and create that same type of goal system for each individual stylist. What's realistic for them at their level? What are they generating now? What do they need to generate to hit their individual goals? Look at what they need to generate per month to get to where they want to go. Once you have that system in place and you're helping them drive their individual goal, it helps you drive the team's goal. After everyone knows what they need every hour that they work out of the month that they're there, they can sit down when they come in the morning and say, hey, I'm working 8 hours today. I know that I need to generate X amount of dollars for every hour I'm here. They take and multiply it by the amount of hours they work that day, and it tells them what they need for the day to stay on pace for the month. Then they can course correct if they have a day that's off. When they have a day that's really great, they might add some additional services into that day just to drive that revenue higher, creating a more of a deficit so that their number starts to go down instead of increase. If you can get your team on board with this and they start setting goals for themselves every single day, you would be shocked at how quickly and how effective they can grow to the next level. They get very excited to see their growth, and the team's growing rapidly, which means your bottom line, or that number that you're trying to achieve, is going to grow as well. I would say the number one most challenging thing for us was getting everyone on board and saying we're going to do it every single day. If your team or your stylist let up on it for even one day, you're going to see a big difference in the money that's being generated. It's amazing to me when they start looking at what needs to be created, they find openings on their books. So instead of sitting in the back room doing nothing during a little break time, they're thinking about strategies and ways that they can talk about additional services with the clients that are there currently, or even sitting down and combing through their books to look for additional offers that they can make to clients that are coming in the future. They become number driven, but the beauty of it is in that number driving, we also become very service driven. Our clients start to experience a different feeling in the salon because we're talking to them about additional services. We're spending more time talking about ways to help them and serve them better. The caveat to it is then, as the salon team takes this on as their culture, the salon starts to change in the way that it functions. You can then look at things and say, hey, maybe you have a senior stylist that's starting to burn out a little because they just have had client after client. They're booked so crazy. we can then look at it and say, okay, maybe it's time for a price increase. If we raise your prices and allow you to see less guests throughout the month, maybe your income doesn't have to change. You suddenly become fully in control of their income, how they want to drive their income. If you have stylists that prefer to not double book, but have a certain income they want to meet, you can show them exactly how to make that happen. The last bit that I would share with you is if you want your team to do this and you want them to get behind this initiative, you have to hold yourself accountable. Our staff hears from us every single morning. It's the very first thing I do every day when I get out of bed. If the salon is open for business, I know how many hours are available for sale for the salon that day. I do the math equation. I send I record a voice memo to them and tell them exactly what we need. I encourage them. We talk about where we are for the month. We talk about our wins. We talk about areas where we need improvement. So it's not always realistic for us to do an in-person huddle. That used to be a thing, but now we split shift and people come and go at different times. So this allows us a way to talk to them all as a team. Most of our team, if they're listening to it, they're listening to it on their way into the salon. So it starts to create this energy and get them in the right headspace for their day. They know what the team needs. Then they go in, they figure out what they need. And together we just drive this initiative that not only generates this number that we're looking to see happen, it generates a culture that's different than any culture we've ever been able to establish in the past. So if you're ready to get to your first million, the best advice I can give you is to get serious about focusing on your goals. It's not too late to start. You don't have to wait for the beginning of the year or the beginning of a new month. Just start.